The city of Suffolk is proud to welcome tonight Marty Schottenheimer, legendary former NFL coach and current head coach and general manager of the United Football League's newest franchise, the Virginia Destroyers. Coach Schottenheimer has more than 30 years of NFL coaching and playing experience, having coached for the San Diego Chargers, the Washington Redskins, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Cleveland Browns. Named NFL Coach of the Year in 2004, he is one of only a handful of NFL head coaches to lead at least 3 different franchises to the playoffs. In 2004, he led the Chargers to one of the greatest turnarounds in NFL history, becoming AFC West champions after the team finished dead last just 1 year before. Coach Schottenheimer's record speaks for itself, and Suffolk, like the rest of Hampton Roads, is proud to be represented in the UFL by Coach Schottenheimer and the Virginia Destroyers. Coach Schottenheimer.
My wife's coming to town tomorrow. Haven't seen her for a few days. I wish she could have heard that. I mean, do you have it on tape? I'm going to ask for a copy of that. Can everybody hear me? Because I can do it without the microphone if I don't need it. No, I'll tell you what. I'm thrilled to be here, and kind of takes me back to my roots. If you just indulge me a moment or so, the town I grew up in, quite frankly, was smaller than this. It was only about 3,000 people, and everybody knew everybody else, and we had brick streets in our community. It was really a wonderful place to be raised, and I have the fondest of memories about being raised in that environment. And I see some younger children here, and I know, to me, most frequently we become the product of those that surround us when we are in our youth. I've always thought that, the counsel and the guidance I got, not only from my parents, but from friends and the parents of my friends, some of the people, my backyard, and I used to get in trouble, but there was a church directly behind, and they had stained glass windows. Now, I'm a youngster, and I'm active in sports, and I wanted, play in one thing and another. And everything was fine until the day that there was a fly ball high out there that I probably should have caught, and I missed it, and it struck one of those painted glass windows in the church. And I got in a lot of trouble for that. The pastor was a dear family friend and all, but he was not real happy about the fact that the baseball game that we were conducting in our backyard was a part of that. And so I had a little bit of downtime, as it were, in the backyard. It was not a good time in my life. And I'm actually sharing it with you because hopefully some of you can take some of that burden off of my shoulders. But anyway, I'm really, really delighted, as is our entire staff and our team, to be a part of this region. I know that there has been some history with, startups and one thing and another that were unfulfilled, and I will speak to that matter right now. I would urge you not to be judgmental based on things that have occurred in the past. And I didn't live it with you, and so I understand those that would feel that way, but I believe in what we're doing here. I think at the end of the day, what we can provide for this region and this community, Suffolk and all of the other communities around here, is an opportunity to come together. The greatest feeling that you get in sport is when you are involved in the management, coaching end that I'm in, and all of a sudden you see a community step up and they embrace you because of the things you've been able to bring to that community. And so, I remember Kansas City, and there may be some Kansas Cityans in the area. I met one person here, but we went in there, and Arrowhead Stadium was a stadium that held 80,000 people. And when we went in there, my first season, we drew about maybe 40. Within 2 years of that, they began a string of sellouts that I don't believe has been changed to this day. They have consistently sold out each and every game, and that goes all the way back to 1989 when we went in there. So my point is very simply this. What our responsibility as an organization to do, the Virginia Destroyers, is to provide you with a form of entertainment that you can have and be able to share with your family and your friends. Athletics has been the cornerstone of my life. I'll share a story with you about as I was involved in the pursuit of my dream and coaching, and my dream obviously was to be a Super Bowl championship coach, and I've never realized that. And notwithstanding that disappointment, I look back on my days of coaching, and I have the greatest of fond memories about the people that I was involved with, because I'm a long-time advocate of the fact that when you are involved with the right kind of people, you have a chance to be successful in whatever your endeavor might be. And as I look amongst you and I think about my hometown of 3000 McDonald, Pennsylvania, no affiliation with the hamburger, but spelled exactly the same way. And we had one stoplight in the middle of town. And I also remember, and you'll indulge me, I hope my memories of my youth are very, very strong, very, very solid. But I remember every Friday night, this is before I was old enough to play football, they used to hang a sign from Charlie Osborne's drugstore over to the 5 and 10. That was the two. There was this big banner up there, and all it said was, "Football tonight, 8 p.m." And we used to just bring hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people to a field at the outset before I got into high school, late in high school. We had no lights. So what you did was they brought in temporary lights, and the people, we didn't have bleachers. We had a big rope that went around outside the perimeter of the field. And of course, some of you are sitting saying, well, he's an old guy. And yeah, I am an old guy, I confess to that, but I thank that guy upstairs, I'm still standing upright. But anyway, it was a community that engendered tremendous respect for one another. And, I think the critical element to the success of any community endeavor, just like any professional sports team, is this. You have to have, first and foremost, people that are willing to put themselves at risk. And I don't mean the harm that comes with issues of violence, but I'm talking about people that are willing to accept the fact that as a responsible adult in this community, I'm going to accept that responsibility and be an advocate for those things that we're trying to get accomplished in our community. To be able to step forward and do the things that enhance your community, but more important than that, enhance the development of your youth. To me, God, when He gave us children, with that included the responsibility of bringing the very, very best out of them, and then ultimately the grandchildren, and I'm the proud grandfather of 4. I've got a son who, some of you, if you follow professional football, I can talk over that. He's the offensive coordinator of the New York Jets. Now, I said it in the height of the sound because there may be people here that are not Jets fans. Right through the middle of my hometown, the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad went through it every day. And, you had, I don't know whether you have them around here, and, I'm going back decades ago, but, you had the big barricades that came down and you couldn't get across. And it was not a 2 or 3 lane, it was one lane that went down through our community. I guess the point I'm making to you is this. I believe that the strength of the things that I and the people I've been around has been the product of the people that I was surrounded by when I was a youngster. People that are in a community like this that have opportunities to step up and do the right thing. Sometimes it's not easy to do, but in my opinion, the countless bounty that is the product of the investment you make in your children and in your community and in your neighbors and your leadership in you, that combination of events, that care, that trust, those are the things that are the cornerstone of any successful community. And I look, as I said, my hometown, McDonald, had 3,000 people. And to this day, if somebody said, Marty, you got an opportunity when you're done coaching and all to settle in your hometown, I would do it. I love McDonald, Pennsylvania. We had 13 churches in a town of 3,000 people and 25 bars. Now, I don't know what that tells us. And I just see the officers over here, and at my age, I don't remember things that happened 10 minutes ago, but right now I look at that group and I think of Joe Cooper, who was one of our policemen, and Enoch Matthews, one of our policemen, and these gentlemen at the time were my age, if not older, and as a little 10-year-old, I remember those people. So I think you should cherish not just the memories, but cherish the participation that each of you have. Parents, lead your children. Children, as you grow older, lead your children and your parents, grandparents, and give them some direction. Because you know, at the end of the day, it always comes down to one thing, and that is very simply the people. The people are what are most important. Embrace those that surround you, support them. They in kind do it for you. Can be nothing but the best of worlds, in this one man's humble opinion. And I can't tell you, I feel like I've gone home. I really do. I feel like I've gone home tonight. Thank you.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm going to.
How are you? How do you do? You doing? Coach, how you doing? Nice to see you, Coach.
City manager, pleasure, sir.
Both chiefs have to leave, so we got here on time.
Y'all know that's